Good morning, everyone. SBG Active Aussie here, 10:40 a.m. Sunday morning. I'm just in Wilcox Park where I've made a few videos recently. It's quite a convenient place to come out to, and usually there's not many people around here, so it's quite a good place to make a video. It's going to be a very hot day, and there's no breeze, no wind today, so it's going to be very hot a bit later, so I thought I'd come over here now and make this video. I want to talk about a few things this morning, but the first thing is that last night I came across a video by that guy in Utah. I think the name of his channel is MRAD, and he makes a lot of outdoor videos, which I really like. But he made a video yesterday in regard to a family court judge who was deleted by a 49-year-old man in regard to a family court custody dispute. And after I watched that video, I did a bit of scrolling and looked at a few other videos in regard to this subject, and I came across a few videos in regard to Leonard Warwick, who was the Sydney family court bomber. He bombed the Parramatta family court in 1984, but in mid-1980 he shot dead a family court judge. Then in, I think it was March 84, he bombed an apartment complex where another judge lived, and the blast caused extensive damage to the apartments, but the judge himself wasn't killed. His wife was the victim of that blast when she went to the front door, and an IED was detonated, and his wife was seriously injured. I think she died almost immediately. And he also bombed the house of another judge, and the house was basically destroyed, but the judge lived, although he was seriously injured. And a bit later, I think it was in mid-85, he bombed a church that his ex-wife was involved in, and one person was killed and 13 people were injured. And they were fairly substantial blasts if you look at the photos. And apparently this guy Leonard, he had been in the army and he had experience in regard to steel fabrication, welding and construction, so he knew how to construct pipe bombs. But he was not caught until he was arrested in July 2015, and that was quite big news at the time. And I remember at the time in the 80s, I was in high school, and I remember this being very big news. Sydney was quite a crazy place in the early 80s, mid 80s, and as well as these family court shootings and bombings, there was also the gangland killings that were going on. So it was quite a crazy time, and had the Milperra massacre in September 84 as well. So quite a few crazy events occurred back then. But it just goes to show that some guys can really lose it when it comes to these custody disputes and the family court. And it's not just a recent thing that some men may think it is. It's been going on for quite a long time. Anyway, yesterday I said I was going to make a video with the title, "The Current State of the Manosphere," and I've said before that I feel very cynical in regard to the manosphere at the current time, and just a lot of videos with men talking about women every day, 304, single mothers, body counts, etc. And it's just like a broken record. It's the same sort of thing. And I really feel that many of these guys are actually blue pill beta types. And there aren't really many people out there supplying any sort of new information or any information that's actually helpful and useful to men, especially the young men now. And I made a video a few weeks ago and I said that some guys, especially younger men, feel they must be paying money for a book or some course for this sort of information to have any type of validity. And some of the people within the manosphere, including some MGTOWs, red pill guys, PUAs, they remind me of these types of grifters in the so-called self-improvement business, the self-help gurus, so to speak. And for example, the weight loss industry is a good example. There have been thousands of books, courses that have been put out there in regard to this. And it's like, to solve problems, there are some people who think, oh, there is some sort of magical, mystical formula that you can use and you can lose weight quickly, you can get rich quickly, you can attract any woman you want very rapidly, very quickly. And it's all just a lot of BS. There's really no magic sort of, what could you say, magic method that can be used to achieve success in any area. Just in regard to finance, for example, back in the early 90s, mid 90s, I used to have a rule where I would save at least 10 to 15% of my income. Then I ramped it up to 15 to 25%. And probably now you need to be saving at least 15, 25%, maybe a bit more than that of your income. But that's just very basic information and it's common sense. So also in regard to something like losing weight, all you have to do is reduce your calories, do a lot of exercise, go walking, running, swimming, just do some exercise. You don't need to go to the gym, get into nature, get some sunlight, fresh air. This is not rocket science, but you have people selling books, ebooks, trying to sell courses, and I've always found this out to be quite amusing. You need to have perseverance and discipline, self-discipline, and just have to work hard to achieve certain outcomes. And there are no shortcuts. There is no magic potion, magic bullet to achieve certain goals and outcomes. So there are so many grifters around now, and I just find it to be very disturbing. It's just a lot of BS, and I wish young men would stop wasting money listening to dating coaches and PUAs. Instead, invest this money back into yourself instead of wasting money on their courses and books and merchandise, whatever. You could be putting that money into your own bank account. So you just really have to save your money, try and save 25% of your income if you can. I know at the moment that's quite hard because the cost of living's very high, but there are a lot of guys out there who are just scumbag grifters, and they are misleading and deceiving a lot of young men, and this is something I am totally against. I think it's just terrible. But anyway, guys, that's about all for now. I'm just going to go home, do a few things. Just went to visit my mother and my dog. My mother's been a little bit sick, had a bad cold, so I just wanted to check up on her, and I watered all her plants while I was there. So I'll go home, water my own plants, because it's been very hot and dry, and for the next 4 days it's going to be over 30 degrees, I think. So there's no respite from this heat and dryness we're having at the moment. Anyway, guys, that's about all for now. Leave some feedback as usual, and I'll talk to you again soon.